social media won Donald Trump an election.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about like power, there's power there.
So essentially,
which is interesting because the same people who say like, social media doesn't work, they'll be like, damn Facebook,
rigged
the election. Well, so it's like, what is it? It's either one or the other.
That's a great point.
And it is that social media is that powerful. So if it can win elections, it could definitely get people in your brewery. There's like that is low level on the grand scheme of how powerful it is.
Well said. Amazing.
Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? This is C-Certified Brewhead, and welcome to episode 130 of Brewing Podcast. As you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the crib.
Yes, we are.
I have our gorgeous producer and my partner in life, Tiffany Alexis, with me this evening.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Welcome.
Kind of having me.
I don't know, I kind of feel like it's weird to welcome you because it's yours. It's like, well, you're here. You're just not in front of the camera.
Yeah, I'm technically always there.
So this podcast, as you guys might know, if you've listened to our stuff before, Tiffany and I run a company called High Season Co. It is a social media agency. And we want to talk about marketing in craft beer.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I'm excited.
It's a long time coming.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, it's fun because we always talk about things internally when it comes to marketing and beer. And like things that are like internal observations, so it's cool to talk about. Yeah, sometimes we talk about them on the podcast.
Sometimes if we get the right people who on who get it and want to talk about it and stuff, I usually try and bring it up to it, sort of.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we actually had to sit down at length and get into it. So before we do that, I'm just going to give you guys, which is kind of perfect timing. Mm-hmm. Today was actually Journée Pêchée from Judiciel.
Yeah.
So we were drinking 10% or 9.5% stouts at 11 a.m. at the brunch in St. Jerome.
Boy, were we ever.
I'm jet lagged as hell. I had to take a nap. It was intense. The food was amazing. The beers were phenomenal as always. Huge shouts to Layla.
That was the first brunch, right?
The first one I believe they've ever done. Yeah. So they actually held a brunch this year at a 4-course brunch at St. Jerome, which is the production facility. Mm-hmm. We did episode 40, if you guys are into that. We did the episode with JF and Jen up there. I haven't been there since, to be honest. That was 2 years ago. Yeah. That was like February 2017.
Was it 2017?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
So I think Layla thought it might have been 2016, but we were barely doing video podcasts.
Oh yeah, we started video February 2016.
We started video, but we didn't start doing real good podcasts until 2017. So when I say good podcasts,
we didn't get a tripod and stuff. Oh yeah, or like brewers and stuff like that. We didn't have all the materials back then.
But it was kind of like sporadic. Sometimes we did like Matt O'Brien, like comedians, which I'd still be down if we had the right person. I was thinking about that last night.
I'd be totally down to have like a comedian or something else not be related on the podcast. That'd be fun.
Oh hell yeah, right? It's got to be the right person. I had I'm pretty jet lagged still.
Yeah.
And I woke up again today at 5:30 a.m. Probably had about 3.5 hours sleep or something to get to that. And I woke up. I had a dream about Scarlett Johansson.
That's random,
right? And then I think she was on the podcast and she was like into craft beer and shit.
Is she Australian?
No, she's an American actress. I don't know. So nothing to do with Australia. I'm just saying I'm jet lagged. That's why I woke up.
Okay, and she was on the podcast.
And I wake up.
Well, Scarlett, if you're down, we are. All
come
right?
through. And I was like, hey, that's kind of fun because I was like, well, the beer people don't give a shit, but if you could talk to someone like a celebrity or someone with status about beer, that can spread the message about
and
beer.
And even have them, like that. Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? It's not even about growing our platform because the people who would watch for her don't care about
Interesting.
us.
So you would leverage the influence of a celebrity in order to draw attention and put craft beer on a bigger map.
Well.
I like your thinking.
We're going to be getting into that very deeply. Nice work. Yeah. So I figured just before we get into the deep, marketing stuff, we're going to crack a beer. So we have 3 beers tonight for the podcast, which should be enough. The first one is from Australia, from our friends at Mr.Banks. Shouts to Chris, repping the tee, repping the hat. You know what I'm saying? Chris, I got to hang out with him in Australia, and he laced me with a bunch of stuff. I had to, I brought way too much stuff back.
I think you had, 31 beers?
31 beers and a bottle of gin for you.
And my bottle of 4 Pillar Shiraz.
Yes. So this beer is called Rancho Relaxo. It's a 4.5% dry hopped Mexican style lager, which is kind of cool.
It smells great.
Right?
Yeah.
So I thought we'd start off with something light whilst I just give a quick recap. We also picked beers this evening that the branding is fire.
Yeah.
This one is just, as you can see, it's kind of like a Crowler style taproom series.
And for those who can't see, it's like just like the standard label you get when you get a Crowler, and like
and
the percentage is written and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I had this beer with Chris. I went and hung out with him at the brewery. I interviewed him last time on an episode 70-something.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Chris is the G, cool. Bro.
Yeah, and his brewery is beautiful.
Honestly, it's fun. Going back to it again, it's even cooler now.
So many like plants and wood and all this great lights. Oh, yeah. Lots of stuff happening.
So this beer, Rancho Relaxo, 4.5%, as you can tell. It's
a little bit of haze there. All right.
Yeah, because it's a nice little...
Opacity, nice.
Yeah, Mexican-style lager with dry... I forgot what it was with. Get it in ya. Love it. Don't know what the hops are. It tastes like something for me. I think he said maybe Vic's Secret or something.
Okay, nice.
Didn't use as many Aussie hops, so good, huh?
That's cool. Yeah, I like that.
But his branding, otherwise, this is like I said, it's like the slap-on label. But his branding is sick, very bright. He's got like I think 2 different artists he works with, so they're all like custom drawn, like cartoon type things.
I like it says tap room. It's like tap room series, so it's exclusive
to the tap room. So this is just he's canned a bunch of stuff for the tap room.
So it's like you're not going to get them. They're not distributed anywhere.
So remember when we went a year ago in February last year? They had I don't know, they got I think 12 taps, something like that.
Yeah,
and they had maybe a good third to a quarter, whatever was. Guest taps. This time it was all his stuff.
Nice. All right, Chris.
Really stepped up his game. Yeah. So I guess we've had a nice solid 20-minute intro there. Let's talk about marketing craft beer. Oh yeah. So one thing we've noticed, and we say this, I feel like we say it a decent amount, but if you're not really in detail, I just feel like something like marketing in an industry like craft beer, which is people are very passionate about, is art meets science. Mm-hmm. So it's, there's less savage business people in the industry than there are in others. Would that be accurate?
I'd say it's more community focused than competition or focused or a competitor commerce. Or commerce focused. Yeah. But also because there's more of a community, everyone's not trying to, I guess, outplay each other in a way. And marketing is generally about being at the forefront and making sure you amplify your brand and that you're ahead of everybody and that you are making the most money out of your competitors.
Yes.
So, yes, that maybe the community focus of that takes that away a bit.
Right. And generally then, so because of that, breweries don't really spend as much time as people like us who are marketers by trade, by profession, by education, that as we would like to see. And people don't take it seriously. And there's a huge lack of understanding. There's huge misunderstandings that I personally have not a beef, but an issue with.
Yeah.
That I would like to rectify. Okay. We're going to address some of those things today. And some of them even happened today on Twitter again. It drives me nuts. I want to sort of just go into detail. I've mentioned it briefly, kind of. I feel like I'm live with Tio, drunkenly, because it kind of pisses me off.
That could have happened. You get passionate.
I get passionate. Yeah. So I'm going to be more articulate and not so mad about it. But basically, yes.
And this is marketing in the form generally of more social media when you think about it.
Primarily.
Because
and the things surrounding that.
Marketing also encompasses events and doing things like that. And the majority of breweries aren't really messing around and not participating in events and things like that.
Yeah.
So marketing can encompass all those in-person things as well. And the festivals that you go to and then the events you have yourself. So usually that's I feel a standard part that most breweries do not miss out on.
Right.
It's really the social media component and basically the digital era. I feel that gets lost.
Yes.
Especially when you look at it in comparison to the macro breweries.
Yeah.
Who are actually trying to make sure that they maintain their dominance and fight each other to make sure that they stay at the top.
And fight craft.
And fight craft as well. Yeah. Reasonably so, because it's so much better and you want to make sure that you drown that quality out.
Or buy them out.
Or just
buy them out and then they own it anyway. And then they can actually capitalize on it. So marketing, we've noticed as marketers that, and we speak in depth to owners a lot. And that's why I feel and of course we own High Season, we run that, we have had brewery clients, we do have brewery clients. I don't know if we want to go into that really, or
just really.
Basically we've had in Ontario primarily, we have one in Los Angeles right now, brewery clients, and we've had some really good results with our brewery clients. We're in a very unique position because of the podcast, our passion and sort of knowledge of beer that we generated.
Want to make sure that craft beer dominates. So that we're very invested, I guess, personally. In making sure
we just want to see them all win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's great for, and I feel like nobody is, in our social media world, we're very well positioned to be like, well, we know more about beer than the average. If you just went to an agency or hired somebody or whatever, you're not going to know what we know.
Yeah.
As far as like how to promote beer, how to capture it, how to discuss with members of the community, like that, the verbiage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like we're very uniquely positioned, and we get to talk at length to these people that I know we have a strong following from the industry, because the people in the industry want to hear the other people in the industry talk.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the people in Australia were familiar, because they watch anything that's industry based, right? So
Makes
like
sense,
instead of, you're not going to be able to ask questions to the guys from Founders all the time, so they might as well watch that podcast.
Yeah.
Or listen to the podcast that they get to sit down with them. So, we kind of get into it a little bit, but this is sort of why we want to talk about it, like, maybe what people are doing right, what they're doing wrong, and how it can be fixed. And I hope at the end of this that people could learn something from it, because this is stuff that we've actually started a YouTube channel ourselves for High Season. This is also not supposed to be just promo for that, but it's just
that's what I was like, let's not talk about our clients. I was trying not to promote it ourselves or anyone, but yes. But yeah, we started one to spread the knowledge and kind of share this information.
Yeah.
It is our goal that, well, obviously anyone that we come in touch with succeeds, but we're particularly in this industry, it's very important to us that craft beer wins. And I think as well as the space gets more and more crowded, I think and breweries keep buying out. Mega breweries are being purchasing other breweries. Yep. I think it's important that the craft guys, stay
take it seriously, right?
Stay competitive and take it seriously.
So why do you think breweries aren't taking marketing seriously?
I think a lot of people, marketing just falls kind of at the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
And
in the industry or just in general?
Just in general.
Okay.
And digital marketing.
Okay.
And that's just because it's another thing added to your plate in a bunch of things that you have to do already.
Maybe a lack
so that's
of
one. And two, a lack of understanding.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh yeah, like this Facebook, great, wonderful, whatever. Instagram, cool. I use it in my own personal account. But you don't find the value in it, and you're generally not willing to put money up or put time into something that you don't completely understand.
Fair. And that's exactly kind of it. And we noticed that, if you want to say social media specifically, we've noticed that a lot of breweries sort of, maybe take a casual approach to it. Maybe they just get, and this is something that we always fighting against as a social media agency owners. Mm-hmm. Maybe people get the secretary to do, like receptionist to do it, or you get your nephew or your niece to do it, or the bartender in between doing interns. Like people who are just sort of like, give them busy work.
Yeah.
And they're not trained in it. They don't understand it. They're not posting with intention. They're not managing the community right.
Yeah.
They're posting terrible low-res photos.
Yeah, low-quality photos.
Flyers that are ugly.
Being very inconsistent. So really not capitalizing on an opportunity point, right? And capitalizing. Yeah. Like in the end, like when you look at something like Instagram, there's over 1 billion people on Instagram.
Right. Alone, not including the 2 billion on Facebook.
And I think it was like 500 million daily people accessing Instagram.
Which is insane.
So that's nuts. There are a ton of people. That's just like such a gold mine. Like in no other time in the world was there this opportunity that you could directly just reach people and for free. Think about like what the cost of what a television commercial was back in the day. And now you could just post something, if you're boosted even better, but organically you could reach a ton of people. So to be in this era where like you can have your brand, you could create an entire brand on social, market your business to people, and you could do this for free and manage a community and talk directly to the people who could be your customers, potential customers, and people who might have had a bad experience, and you can bring them back in. Like, it's incredible that this is an era. And I think the entire digital era that we're part of now, where like YouTubers are exploding and influencers and all these things, just shows the power of social.
Right.
Social media won Donald Trump an election.
Yep.
So if you want to talk about like power, there's power there.
So essentially,
which is interesting because the same people who say like, social media doesn't work, they'll be like, damn Facebook, rig the election. Well, so it's like, what is it? It's either one or the other.
That's a great point.
And it is that social media is that powerful. So if it can win elections, it could definitely get people in your brewery. There's like, that is low level on the grand scheme of how powerful it is.
Well said. Amazing. And so therefore it would be somewhat absurd and very like short-sighted for breweries then to ignore social media, or at least not take it seriously.
Definitely.
There are so many breweries that are not on Twitter, that don't even own the handle. There are so many breweries that,
and Twitter is interesting too, because when you look at like certain communities, like say the Ontario craft beer community, we always say like there's certain we analyze, so we pay attention, but there's certain areas that are more popular depending on the region or so certain platforms. So for example, Twitter, huge in Ontario craft beer. Like huge, okay?
Huge, with a Y.
So as a brewery, that's definitely a lost opportunity when you're not on this platform where everybody is.
Just to be tagged.
Yeah, just to be tagged, to retweet, to connect. And stuff, especially when, like, I see things online. I saw a post earlier today, actually, and somebody was just like, had this beer, was garbage, it was trash. Could have been just a bad batch. Who knows? But the brand's nowhere to be found.
Yep.
So all I know is I saw that. I don't see an explanation as to what would have caused that beer to, like, taste that way. But I do know I likely won't pick it up in LCBO.
Right.
Because now I just read a terrible review about it, and I'm not going to waste my $5.
And the brewer didn't come in to be like,
but if the brewer was like, hey, give me the batch number, what's going on?
Or we'll give you something else.
And then offers like, oh, you know what? Thank you. 3 people have reported this, so clearly something's wrong. We're going to take it off the shelf.
And that's not a bad thing. Breweries want to know that.
You should have that information.
And you should probably... I think that's a little rude when people do that, if it's like the entitlement of some of the craft beer
you should definitely just DM them.
Just don't be an
on the
asshole.
side of the consumer, just don't be a jerk.
Because then you're like, fuck this brewery, look at their book. I'm like, you know, you don't need to do that.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that I'm going to give also the consumer the benefit of the doubt that perhaps they reached out via DMs. Oh wait, they couldn't because the brewer wasn't on.
But then they would have to go to another.
So then you're like,
they went to Twitter to bitch about it.
Yeah.
They could have gone to Instagram or Facebook and
DM'd emailed or something,
or something. Hey guys, I purchased this. This is what happened.
Yeah, if the brewery is even active on social.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's the main thing. So that's the one thing. Like, you know, be kind, guys. Understand that, like, you know, breweries are a small business. They're small businesses, unless they're owned by Anheuser-Busch or whatever. But they're small businesses owned by a few people who just trying to make a go of it. And sometimes things happen. Sometimes bad things go on. So don't go and shit on them publicly. Now, if the beer is bad and it's just objectively bad, then I guess go for it. But
in the end, I guess we're all allowed as consumers in the nice-hearted place. You could say that, but we're all allowed as consumers to vent and complain on Twitter if we want to. So it's your job to be there when that person is venting, so that you can turn that around. Facts. That's on you. You have to be the one to control the conversation, and the way that you do that is to be where your consumers are, so you never miss anything.
And that's the key thing you just said there: controlling the conversation, having a social media presence as a brewery owner. As you know, even if just as a brewery, as a company, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. It's so key, because if people are talking about you and you're not a part of that conversation, then you've lost control, and then maybe there's going to be misinformation, such as the example Tiff gave about a bad batch or a bad beer or whatever it might be. Sorry, by the way, if we're jumping up and down, it's because there's only 2 of us. Normally, Tiff is the one behind the cameras changing batteries.
So now I'm actually, I'm changing
the battery on the B cam right there. And the A cam's going to need to be changed, so it's flashing at us.
Yeah.
But it's fine. This one lasts a bit longer.
We're at home, so it's easier.
Exactly. This is like a chill podcast. Actually, I love these ones where we get to just like have a bit less pressure and just talk about some stuff. But yeah, so basically it's like controlling the conversation. That's the key. That's what we need to be doing, or that's what you need to be doing. So yes, you say Ontario craft beer has a strong presence.
What's actually interesting is knowing your market. So for example,
know your market. If you're
Ontario craft beer,
Twitter is super strong, and Instagram is really strong. There's not a lot of activity happening on Facebook for Ontario craft beer. Quebec, on the other hand, is Facebook over and above everything. It's unbelievable. Like
Quebec is Facebook's dream. They use the community so well.
Has
They're
like
so good at
15K people in the group.
Crazy.
Which is huge. It's where all the conversation goes down. All the drama is going down there. There's always drama with beer, but like that's where the conversation happens. And pretty much most other networks or areas I've seen, most of them happen on Instagram. It's very, very key because beer is visual. There's so many accounts now that people are just posting pictures of their beers and whatever. So Instagram is the perfect medium for that.
Of course.
Twitter's good for, like you said, like conversation in general.
Customer management,
like you said, people are bitching, but like this, like as we say, we do a podcast and I go promote it across it. I want to say 6 out of 10, maybe 60% of breweries do even have the Twitter. Like
you said, the Twitter.
I know, right? I meant to say a Twitter. It's been a long day, guys. I'm jet lagged.
When you're on the Facebook, you gotta make sure you're communicating.
We always give shit to people who say that. So essentially just, have a presence on all the networks. Now, even if you don't use it, just own the handle, and key thing is keep it consistent. If it's like X beer or X brewery across one, make it the same on everything where possible to make it simple. And if you can't get it on one, try and figure out something else that you can get across everything. That's what you should do when you first start your accounts.
Makes it easy for people to find.
As you can see, we follow us at BAOS Podcast everywhere on all social media, at High Season Co. everywhere. Yeah. That's all the plugs. So I did that. But it's consistent everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go. Just find BAOS Podcast, you'll find it. Website, like all social. So that's the first thing about knowing where your audience is and make sure you're speaking to them on their terms in those places. Engage constantly in social.
So engagement's also a big one, and that's one of the things. So like, yes, you should have your account set up everywhere and be ready to receive any information, put out information, and kind of control the conversation. But yes, engaging. Once you have people who are showing general interest in you, it is such a missed opportunity to not like say what up back. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like to talk and engage with them. One, it's good for the algorithm. So the more you comment and reply back and forth, you actually just increase your ranking. So your posts get seen more and your account is deemed as like more interesting. So from an algorithm perspective, it's just more beneficial. Yeah. But in terms of like from like your fans loving you and like wanting to like, I know, I guess that kind of increases brand loyalty when you look at it. So like being like, oh my gosh, like this X brewery is talking to me. Like Collective Arts, every time I reply to them, they always say something back to me. Like you become more attached to that.
It doesn't take much to make people love you.
Oh gosh, no, not
one little response. Some of our clients, like without like mentioning names and stuff, like the fun one. Yeah. Like every time I respond to them, I can talk to them in a way in like the Toronto slang, and they eat it up. If I just respond to one little tweet and I search for the brand name so I can go and respond to them, and which you also should be doing is proactively searching because they don't always mention you. The response, like I'll get a follow back and then they'll send a picture the next day of them in the store eating the food. Like it's amazing to me. Like what a small
and that's just
action
from replying, and that actually will make the brand, like say I think their average ticket price is like $10, $12. So as soon as you say something, you're like, hey, come through. And they're like, hey, I came through. And then they send you a picture. It's like you just made $12 from replying with with like 2 seconds.
Hey, come by. And then they'll have the next day, they're here, I bought a 4-pack from the brewery. And then you got $20 in your pocket from 10 seconds of work on Twitter. Yeah. And that's something I think that's our job as marketers to express that to people. But like breweries just need to really understand that. Like,
it's so valuable,
so deeply valuable, and that's the thing that upsets us as marketers when we're watching it as beer fans and watching these missed opportunities day by day.
Or people just be like, "Hey, where can I get this?" Crickets. And it's like, oh gosh, that's a sale.
I want to go in there and respond for them.
Like, and it's like, we're not trying to say everything's about money, but this is business, right? We can never forget that in the end, craft beer is a business. It's fun. It's great that everybody's in a community with each other and everybody loves each other. Yeah, crack that. Nice.
Yeah, sorry.
It's great that it's a community and everybody loves each other. That's very, very cool. And I think that's why we love craft beer is because of that community aspect. Beautiful, but it is still a business. So we want to make sure that everybody stays in business. And I think social is such a key component of that. I
agree.
So this is why we emphasize things like being on top of it.
Yep, 100%. Is there anything other tips just off the top of the head, or is it pretty much just go check out the videos?
Yeah, engage. What'd you say? Yeah, engage, talk to people, take high quality photos, like share high quality photos. Try to stick to a consistent theme. Use hashtags, please. Use hashtags and use all 30. Yeah,
and put them in the second.
Let me just say the exact same thing.
Right? Yeah, in the second comment, not in the caption, because no one wants to see your goddamn hashtags when they're looking at your photos. They want to, you want to hide those away.
Get a branded hashtag.
Branded
hashtag.
So
cool because you get a library of stuff that people can see what your beers and things look like. So
even if it's small for now, it'll grow over time.
But the main thing is, and post every day if you can.
Yeah. Particularly Instagram, and then everything else can kind of follow from there, and you can sort of feel it out.
Yeah.
But the idea is that most breweries' accounts will be Instagram driven, and that's the way that sort of tends to work right now. Is everything's driven from Instagram and then kind of dispersed through the rest of them. Depending on maybe Quebec, it's actually not so much. Maybe Quebec is more driven through Facebook. Like you got to find out what your audience,
where they are,
how they operate, where they like to be, and how they like to be spoken to. And that's something that there's no rules to this. You just figure out over time. But you have to spend time figuring it out.
Yes.
And don't ignore it. It might seem annoying because all you want to do is actually brew the beer and sort of, you got accounting to worry about and payroll and like signage and festivals and blah, blah, blah. I get it. It is tough. It's a lot. But that's why, like you said, it's free. It's the best opportunity to reach the most people. And, you either hire a professional or get someone on your team to do it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Someone has to figure it out.
If it even starts with finding that really passionate person on your team, like, do that.
Yep.
Or find, like, nurture the photographer who's, like, you could see is like an amateur photographer or something like that, and invest in the DSLR and give it to them.
Yep.
And, like, let them use it and let them take fantastic photos for you and just split the tasks, whatever you need to do, but it's worth it. Like, it's so powerful and it's such a missed opportunity. And again, when you look at these, just had a Corona ad, like, on YouTube play before another video, like,
trash. Man.
Like, there are these huge brands who are trying and making sure to invest all their money in distracting people from craft beer and distracting people from quality, and that's because they have the budget to do so. But I feel like if craft beer even just put more effort into it, like if every brewer was putting more effort into getting in front of people who aren't just generally craft beer fans from the beginning, we would definitely see the market share increase.
100%.
And also the reason why I say that is because it doesn't just have to be like you're targeting craft beer fans. It's just like once you target somebody based on something else that's related to your brand, like if you are the brewery that, like, left field is into baseball and stuff like that, I'm sure a bunch of baseball dudes are drinking crushing buds. We know that because Scott's friends were crushing bud, right?
Facts.
But, like, if you're, like, marketing to people who love baseball and stuff like that and creating ads like that, then they might be like, okay, cool. And once they try the beer, they will never go back. It's not possible. You cannot have Folgers coffee, then go and have a craft coffee for third wave. Yeah, and then go back to Folgers or go to Tim Hortons. It's not possible. It's not. Once you have something good quality, you're immediately going to convert. So it's very much worth the time investment to market to a wider audience.
Facts.
And you do that via social very easily because it's free.
Because it's free.
Someone with a baseball hashtag, you go and find left field, and there you go. They convert. They're like, oh, cool, there's like this brewery thing down there, and they love baseball. I'll go in and I'll try something light.
Well, they're going to go to a pub afterwards. They might as well go to the baseball
Go to the one that's themed and loves you or
it.
something like that. So that's just an example. Left field also has great marketing, too.
I love left field, and I was thinking
Sort of City. Their team looks so beautiful.
Yeah, left field fans, and they're one of the more diverse. They've got a diverse
You know what? And that's
team.
what I'm saying. Their team looks beautiful
Mandy
because
and Mark are
it's very diverse, and I really love seeing that. It's just everybody. It's a good... Yeah.
The beers are fire. They're lovely. Episode 80, we interviewed them. They were very, very cool, very astute, very intentional with everything they're doing. Shouts to Kevin as well, working there. Kevin's G. Like, very, very cool, right? Like them.
And you said Sawdust.
Sawdust. I just think about Emily because Emily is their marketing. Emily's a full-time marketing person for Sawdust. She's a designer, graphic designer.
That's the ideal scenario, is that you actually have a full-time person who can do all the stuff.
Not everyone can do that, though, right? Which is why small businesses have to hustle and figure it out. Like, you know, we have to, if we were joking about it, we actually just posted on High Season the other day because we hadn't posted in so long because we've been working on this new client. And I'd been away, and then we'd just been busy that we hadn't even focused on our own stuff. And we were like, man, like, we need someone to do our social because we're running out of time because we're running all these clients. Plus the BAOS and Liquid X Happiness. Go follow Tiffany at Liquid X Happiness, our wine, spirits, and coffee companion. It's our sister companies. But it's even hard. You just have to figure out how to do it. And that's what you do as a business. It's, you know, you're scrapping, you're bootstrapping it all. And everyone does a bit of everything. Everyone's cleaning, everyone's brewing, everyone's serving. Doesn't matter what it is. You just do it and figure it out. And I just want to also just echo that, you know, if you know us, even if you don't know us, and you would like, you know, some advice or maybe for us to clarify some of this stuff, like, we are here more than happy to answer some questions or whatever. We're not like the world's biggest experts, but you know, we've been operating this business for 4 years through High Season, 3 years with the podcast. No, 4 Yo, it's 4 this year. I'm sorry, it's April. Wow, it's 4 years for BAOS. Jesus Christ. 4 years for that, and it's like 4.5 for High Season then. So, you know, we've been doing this stuff for quite some time. I've been in social media since the 2000s in Australia, you know, in multiple areas. And,
he was twit-picking.
I was twit-picking live red carpets with Ashton Kutcher for the movie, what was it called?
Most people don't even remember TwitPic.
Dude, you don't even know. I mean, like, MySpace is the first website I ever used where I met someone. Funnily enough, the chick lives in Montreal. The very first internet friend was called Where Are You Now? WAYN. And it was a travel-based website.
Oh, cool,
and you talk to people and stuff like that. It's you know, I've been in the game for a long, long time. I take this stuff very seriously. Tiff, you've been doing it at a high level for like more than half a decade now. In Montreal and through multiple things. So you've gone from here to here really, really quickly. We take this has become our life. This is what keeps a roof over our heads. So, you know, we take it seriously. We're very passionate about craft beer and all things craft liquids. We want you guys to succeed. And we're here. We'd love we're down to work with people, but we're also just down to give advice and stuff. And just make sure the scene and the industries keep building to what they deserve to be, because we just believe in quality across the board, quality products. Once you have craft beer, you can't go back. You have craft coffee, it's fire. Proper wine and
you can't go back,
craft small batch distilleries, like you can't go back. Farm to table food, it's hard to eat fast food afterwards. Like things like that. It's what we are personally passionate about, and that's what we want to sort of echo here through all of this. So I hope this is enough takeaways here for you guys.
We got a little bit of ranting out, I guess. So
I was gonna go a little harder, but I think it was like
there's
a nice
some ranting out there. We just basically it's like we recognize the power of it, and I think everyone can, and that's why the world is where it is right now. For a lot of reasons. So for better or for worse, we recognize the power of social, of what it could do. So from the positive and the negative, either way, you can't deny that it's powerful. And I think it's such a low-hanging fruit. And I think a lot of people get intimidated by it, but it shouldn't be intimidating. And if you do feel intimidated, that's why you ask.
And that's why there's resources to help.
And that's why there's resources, and you can,
and hopefully we can be some sort of an assistance in that way through our content that we're doing through High Season, or even through something like this that, maybe might just provide a bit more context behind, why you should be doing things, why you should not be doing certain things as well.
But we can't deny the value of it. And I think like that, I think social and us as like the craft beer industry, and being like newer and fresher, and getting to like getting the new generation converted, and even converting the generation before us. Like our movement, like this wave is the one that will like topple the macro industry. But it's about meeting us where we're at. Okay. So like, we are on social. All of us, this generation, we're all on social. You have to be in front of us so that we know. If it wasn't for you, I don't know where I'd actually be in the craft beer world or anything like that, because you introduced me to craft beer because nobody was marketing to me. So because nobody's marketing to me, it never came my way until you came and you were like, oh, I'm doing 365 beers. But it should have been presented to me.
Yes.
And the problem is it's not being presented to people because I'm not being marketed to. There's a lot of people not being marketed to. It's not anywhere on social where I am. So how am I going to see it? How am I going to know if you don't try to get to me?
Infinite opportunities at this point.
So many opportunities.
So I think that's it. Anything else? That's kind of it for now.
That's it, guys.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. I really hope you got something from it. Please feel free to reach out to us at either at High Season Co on social or at BAOS Podcast everywhere. So of course, if you enjoyed the episode, boom, smash that thumbs up, hit subscribe below, hit the notification bell,
ding,
so you know when the new drops. Of course, follow us on social media, as I just said. Check out the long form audio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We have a whole bunch of stuff coming. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. We appreciate y'all. We'll see you in the next episode. And as always, get it in ya!